Okay, and it looks like we are live. I'm going to here just refresh the Twitch page to make sure we're broadcasting. Oh, this is taking a minute. Okay, here we are. Great. Well, good to see you, Daniel, and good to see everyone. For those of you who have joined us on the stream, thank you very much for joining us today. This is our newest episode in our ongoing series where we are discussing, reviewing, augmenting, and improving existing data with Amazon Honeycode. Oh, great. Perfect. Yeah, well, I'll take just a quick moment here to go back what we've covered so far. This is our fourth episode. First, a couple of weeks ago, Daniel, you showed us how we can display a wide table in a narrow web app or on a narrow screen. It was a really helpful session. The following week, we talked about how we can edit records in bulk and do inline editing. Then last week, we covered how to display contextual information when editing is taking place in an application. That was really great. And today, really looking forward to deep diving into importing and exporting data into Honeycode. And then finally, next week, we'll cover managing multiple teams. And that will conclude this ongoing series. But of course, we're going to continue to stream every week at this time on this channel. To start, we wanted to let you all know, we are looking for your feedback on the topics that you will want us to cover going forward. So I just put up a link here at the bottom of the screen for a page in our community forum where you can go to and share feedback with us, what you've liked, what you'd like to see in the future. And then we want to make sure that we crowdsource our agenda in this manner going forward. But with all of that said, Daniel, I'll turn it back over to you for episode 4 today and importing and exporting data.
No, totally. Thank you for mentioning that, because we definitely want to be crowdsource driven here for the content. So yeah, totally. All right. So if you remember, the scenario for this series is that you've just been promoted as the manager of the music store, or as manager of the IT, or manager of the data for the music store. And congratulations, you have your own budget, you have your own team, and now you get to implement all those beautiful ideas you've had, all those think big ideas. And, nothing can go wrong, of course, right?
Never.
Right? It never goes wrong, except you find out that, oops, oh my gosh, I have all this messy data. I need to wait for IT for 6 months before they will slot me in to work on this, make some tool for me. And oh my gosh, in the meantime, all my tools are emails and spreadsheets, and I have to email them back and forth. We see this scenario all the time. So that's why we spent this time making these videos, because it's not just in your mythical music store, but this happens in program management, HR, legal, IT, you name it. And every business has these problems that are team size problems that you, the person with the business problem, could easily solve yourself if you just had the tool. So we think with Honeycode, you can solve a lot of these small team size, a lot of the team size problems, a lot of the process problems yourself, and customize something that works for you. Mm-hmm. And so, like Amari said, we've covered 3 patterns so far. Today, we're going to focus on importing and exporting data. And importing and exporting is a big, big topic. And Amari will give us a quick overview of it, and then we'll jump into a specific pattern.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, thanks for sharing the slide. This is really helpful just to see everything that's available. We'll discuss, as you mentioned, when we're looking at our data in options, I know we'll mention copy, paste, and import from CSV today. And of course, entering directly the data in the app is the preferred way for app users. But from the builder experience, builders also have, they can also use Amazon AppFlow, Zapier, and the APIs to really have some robust processes to get and to programmatically get data in and out of Honeycode. For those of you who may not be familiar with those services, Amazon AppFlow is it's an AWS service, of course, that allows you to connect Honeycode with third-party tools like Salesforce, Snowflake, Slack, but other AWS services like S3 or Redshift, and it's very powerful. And then Zapier is the third-party version of this, so it's that third-party tool that enables you to move data between systems. And we see customers using Zapier with like QuickBooks and Jira and lots of others. And of course, for technical users, we have 12 APIs that you can use. And you can use our APIs to do the common CRUD operations, right? Like adding data, deleting rows of data, editing data. This is just the one part I'll share that is not fully no-code at this time. So to use our APIs, you need a little bit more of a technical background. But when you go on our community, we actually have courses that will teach you what an API is, if that's helpful for your use case. But again, yeah, thanks for showing this slide, Daniel. This is really helpful.
Yeah, and I think I don't know if we don't have timeline to share right now, but obviously AppFlow becoming a ability to pull data out of Honeycode that's coming up soon, and some other
Absolutely.
capabilities. I don't know. Do you have any more context on that, or?
Yeah, no, like you said, nothing we could share at this time, but we'll absolutely keep you all updated. And if you watch our community forums, that's where we'll release the updates. So that's a good call out.
Yeah, and we'll mention a few more things at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing I wanted to, I think it's worth covering today in this import-export is just the basics, right? How do you do Control-Shift, Control-V? How do you do the basic import, and how do you add more rows into a particular table? These are table stakes for any spreadsheet-like application. So let me switch over here. We're going to go to Demo 1. And when you create a workbook, you end up with a bunch of tables, and we're going to create a new table here. Let's just add a blank table. And so here's our blank table. This is what usually comes up when you create the workbook anyways. And let's say you're using a third-party spreadsheet program, and you want to drop some number of rows in. Not a problem. Bloop. Voila. Right?
Very nice.
So Control-C, Control-V works like a charm.
Except, yeah, I was just going to point that out.
Yeah, thank you for keeping me honest. Yeah, this happens because the actual preferred way to do it is to use Control Command or Control-Shift-V, and that does a non-formatted paste, and so the columns you don't have that mistake with columns not being lined up correctly.
Oh yeah, this
I don't know, do you use that feature a lot, or?
Extensively. Even when I paste anything into Gmail or any window in Chrome, I always do Command-Shift-V just to make sure there's no weird formatting that gets in there. So that's a good tip.
Yeah, so that's our first tip. We have some of our customers that swear by it.
Yeah.
And so we were talking to one the other day and says, oh my gosh, I swear by that.
It's life changer.
Exactly. So the other thing you can do, obviously you can, like you saw, we we created this table, but we can also just import from CSV. So let's say I pick this file here and I import. It takes the first row as a header. And voila, now we have table 3. Wow. And you can rename it to blah, 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 whatever you want it to be. So that's import. And then not only that, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so that was an import, but created a new table, right?
Right, exactly. Okay. So this one is the import in place.
I see.
And yeah, this one is nice because it already does the mapping for you, especially if it's the same table. The structure is the same between your sample file and your table. Obviously, you can change, but in some cases you need to change it. and then you import, and voila. So that took longer than usual, but yeah, bingo.
But now with this method, you're going to get duplicate records if you do this, right?
Yeah, thank you. That's a really good catch. Yeah, it's not. This is not a unique problem to Honeycode. This happens in all the spreadsheet programs. Yeah, so you will get twice as many, and you get the duplicates in.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I thought we would cover a pattern to show you how to do that without having duplicates.
Great.
So here's what that looks like. So we're calling this the upsert pattern. So upsert stands for update or insert, as opposed to normally what happens, the import is just an additive process where it just adds rows at the bottom. The upsert process is a little bit smarter, that it says, hey, if there's already a record, then please update the record. But if there's not, then insert a new record, right? And so this allows you to drop the same source data table many, many, many times into a temporary upload table, kind of a scratch table. You don't care if there's duplicates in there. You can clean them up, delete them anytime you want. And then we use an automation in Honeycode to to import those into your final or your golden, or in our case, album table or records table, into your golden table, and make sure that there's no duplicates. But only the updates and the inserts, the new data makes it in there. So with this two table, you can make that work.
One time when I saw you do this demo, I love the term you used for the upload table. You called it a sacrificial table. I think that's very great mental model.
Yeah, exactly. So it's you don't care. So here we have our records, the golden list of records that we have, and there's 41 of them, and we don't want to make it 81. We want them to be the same. And so here's the upload table. I can come in this upload table, and I've done a couple of uploads here. I'm going to delete them, delete the rows. And if I come in here and upload over and over and over again, I'm just going to import into this. Sorry, not upload, but import. I'm going to import a few times.
Yeah, that'll just.
It will not change the other table.
Keep appending.
That's right. So now here, even if I have, sorry, I'm going to come back. If I import in the table again,
yeah, and so here you'll have twice as many records.
Exactly, right? So I have 80 some records here, but in my master, my golden table, I have only 41 records.
Okay.
Now here's the cool part, right? Because we haven't seen how things update yet. We've seen that things don't update, which is great. But let's say these records here, I'm going to update a modified version of this. That's going to change. It's going to populate the territory here. So, and let's see what happens then. So I'm going to whoops, let's go in this table. I'll come back. And I'm going to import. And I have a modified version of the same thing.
Okay.
Same structure. And so now here I have, 100 some rows now. And you'll notice how this last import had, I think this is either Florida or Finland, I cannot never tell. And we've added a new thing here called baby, right? They're no longer called adults. I mean, some adults are still babies, but that's a different discussion for a different time. So anyway, some of these fields are changed, and let's see if those actually did change in our golden table. And voila! Notice how these were changed.
Yes. So to recap here, you uploaded a CSV that had updated information about some of these records.
That's right.
Which you appended to that records upload table.
That's right.
But it updated the actual record in your golden table. This is super cool.
Yeah, this is magic, right? So now I can go back here and I'm going to delete these again if I want to. And one of the things that we recommend, so let's just delete them here, is that one of the things that we recommend is, because you're going to have to do some hygiene, is to add an uploaded date here. And that way, you know when it was uploaded, and you can come back a day later or run an automation to come back a day or two later and just delete all the rows so that this table does not grow and eat up your quota.
Makes sense. Now, can you show us how this actually happened? Like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let me set this back to normal. So if I upload the original data back in,
yeah.
notice this comes here, this in the import table. Now you don't have Florida, and you no longer have crybabies for adults.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you look back in your records table, notice that everything is set back to normal to adults, and Florida is no longer here, or Finland. So this is a great way to get updates all day long. You can do this all day long. I love this because it's good for testing. When you're doing this, when you're testing some logic, you want to keep importing over and over and over again, even before you build the automation. And then also when you use AppFlow, that's also additive. Sometimes when you use APIs, those can also be additive. And so this is a good pattern to know for just developing straight in Honeycode, or when you want to build some integrations with other tools later. So here's the magic. This, as I pointed out, this particular automation, and this automation starts when a row is added to the records upload table. Whenever a row is added, and all it does, this is the magic, it uses the update or insert rows. And this behaves just like an add row. The only difference is that at the beginning here, it uses this source column to match between the records table and the upload table. So I'm going to use record ID. That's the unique ID.
Okay.
Record ID. So record ID from the upload table. So now if these two match, then it only updates. If they don't match, then did I misspell that? There it is. It's correct. It's just if it doesn't match, then it uses what's happening below to update every name, updates a name, composite key, language, territory, things like that. It just updates field by field. And one other thing that we should do now, since we added the
uploaded date column. Yep.
Exactly. So here we want to add. Where do we go? Okay, see, things don't always work here when you want to do things in real time. What the heck is going on? Why is add another not possible? We are going to publish this automation, and we really should be adding. Oh, okay. You cannot add another because we've exhausted all the columns. Let's look at our table. This is a fun one. Records upload. We should have a upload date. Hello.
Upload date. Yeah.
Well, that may be a bug. I don't know. We might have to go back and complain about that, because I would like to have 11 columns. Okay, well, that is a bug there. Okay. But the power is that you can, for example, you can even look up fields while you're. So this is looking up the work type from our work types table. You can insert into two different tables at the same time. All kinds of powerful things you can do with this pattern. So this is just the beginning.
Oh, this is awesome. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's
okay. Great. Yeah, I was wondering if you could take a quick minute to also show us the GitHub repository where you've put in some additional resources for this.
Yeah, so if you are on GitHub, because we talk about API and we're going to add some more repos here, but if you search for Amazon Honeycode, and if you are given to doing API work, integration work, then here you can click on, you can just search for Amazon Honeycode, and this repo, the table API repo, in the docs folder, shows you a pretty powerful example where it shows from Honeycode all the way to S3 bucket, to Dynamo table, to S3 bucket, and even to QuickSight for visualization. So this is a very powerful example to use with APIs. We're going to have 2 or 3 more published in the next few weeks. but this particular example takes about 30 minutes to set up. And in 30 minutes, you can have all these integrations automatically done and read data in, read data out. And you can actually take advantage of a lot of the patterns that we talked in this series about.
Oh, this is awesome. Great. Yeah, thanks a lot, Daniel. Anything else to add on this pattern for today?
Yeah, I think like you said at the beginning, just search here for functions or integrations, and let us know in the forum what here's a Zapier example, here's other API integration. So there's a lot of content out there for this. But yeah, drop us info about what you're interested in.
Oh, this is great. Oh, thanks for the reminder for this. Awesome. Well, I know this concludes a discussion we wanted to have on import and export today. We did want to cover some best patterns and best practices around spreadsheets and getting a spreadsheet over to Honeycode. So what we're going to do is for everybody who's watching live, we're going to end this broadcast and then we're going to start another one right away again. That way we can have a clean second video that we can reference. So if you're on the live stream, please bear with us. If you're watching this at a later time, you can find that spreadsheet video down in the Honeycode collection. So we will be right back.
Yeah, just refresh your page and